Hello, hello. Wait for people to join me on my walk. Let's see. I'm just gonna talk and see what happens. We're notifying viewers that you're live. This is my very first time live on TikTok. I only just got the feature. So, how would I see? How would I see if people are joining me? Anyways. Okay, if you're here, let me know. Hi. Okay, there's people watching. Hey, what's up? So we're gonna have a conversation about desire. You're gonna join me on my walk, so there's gonna be some heavy breathing. If you don't know me, hi, I'm Stefania. I am an energetic alignment coach. Sounds like a gross title, but anyways, basically what I do is I work with people to have their internal world actually show up in their external world. And one of the ways that I do that is through money, but then also I do that through emotions, right? You want to make sure that things are in alignment or always moving closer towards alignment. Alignment. Now, if you're here joining me live, let me know. Say hi. But I want to talk about desire, and not desire like lust, but desire when you have like a deep burning want for something that it almost makes you sick, right? So everyone has desire. Whether or not you've tapped into it doesn't really matter. We all have it. It's innate in every single person on the planet. Now, they may be influenced by culture, by society, by family dynamics, by ancestry, but generally speaking, your desire, your personal desire, is yours. It is irrational, it is illogical, and can be totally counter to how your life has been. For example, for the last 2 years, I was living in rural northern BC with no running water, with a RV toilet, and having to haul pellets for heat. Now, if you know me, you would think, wow, that's really not who she is at all. But that's what I did for 2 years. And so moving towards a life but more aligned to desire. Now, that was in service to the deeper thing, but I then decided to move to Montreal, into Griffintown, where I'm paying more money than I've ever paid in my life for rent. And finding all of the things I've ever wanted in my life totally present. Now, what it took for me to actually desire was a lot less than you'd think, right? So most coaches, when they talk to you, it's like, it takes a lot to get what you want. No, it doesn't. It takes less. It doesn't take a lot. It takes less than you think. It takes less of your patterns, less of your concepts of self, less of your ideas and preferences of how things ought to be. It takes less to have what you actually want. Now, what I mean by that and how that showed up for me was I literally had to physically take less with me on my move to Montreal. I had to get a new bed, a new couch, a new TV, and new clothes. Now, this is an interesting aspect. So this morning I woke up and I tried on 5 different outfits. And I'll tell you, first, let me catch my breath. None of them really fit. And it's not because I've gained a lot of weight. I mean, I'm a thick girl already, but I've been losing weight. But like when I put on the clothes, even if they fit, they like felt restrictive. They felt tight. And so when you do start to begin to follow a life that is totally aligned with your desire, all things that are attached to a past version of you have to fall away. Otherwise, they actually feel constricting. So shorts that I bought on a budget, t-shirts that I've had for 20 fucking years. No shit. Those all have to go away now because when I put them on my skin, there's like a discomfort that shows up. Yeah? And so I'm accepting of that. Like, okay, well, I have to get clothes that actually make me feel good to be in my own body. The crazy thing about this, though, is like the more you start to open up to your own desire, the more you start to actually follow your desire, more desires open. More things that you actually want in your life start to like come to your face. Now, what I mean by this, I am like a very ridiculous person. I need you to know that right off the bat. I drove to Montreal in a 2004 Ford Expedition. And the only reason why I bought the truck was because prior to that, I was driving a Chevy Coupe which could not handle the winter roads of northern BC. However, I got into a car accident with that truck shortly thereafter, which is also an example of the universe trying to talk to you, by the way. And I lost my front bumper. Now, I have not replaced that bumper. My tire went flat because my rim broke, and I need to get a spare, so I used my spare. So I literally drove here in a 2004 truck with no front bumper and a spare tire. None of that is like legal, I'm sure. But I did that and I got here. And so when I got here, I was like, you know what? I really need to get a new vehicle. Like, I have to stop playing the cheap game. Because the cheap game is that, like, I could keep driving that vehicle. I could put more money into it. But is it still an energetic match for me? Is it still in alignment for me? No. Have you tried driving in Griffintown, Montreal in a beater? It's not a match anymore. And it's actually more and more uncomfortable to maintain. Yeah? So I sat with it and I was like, oh, I'll get a Nissan Rogue. That's not the desire, though. The desire will always make you a little sick because of the perversion of you that has to exist to have it. So I sat with it even more. I was like, okay, well, if it's not the Rogue is the easy way out, right? It's like, let me just go do this. Let me just solve the problem. Let me not get the real thing that I actually want. So the more I sat with it, what came through was, oh, fuck. I'm a Range Rover broad, am I? Am I not? I am. And so I started seeing Range Rovers everywhere. And not just like a black Range Rover. Am I not? I am. And so I started seeing Range Rovers everywhere. And not just like a black Range Rover, but like a red Range Rover or a blue Range Rover. And I was like, fuck. Now, a little bit more about me. I used to be a financial accountant for an auto group, so I know how fast vehicles depreciate. So my mind hates this desire. My mind wants to fight this desire. Now, you may have desires as well that you're like, man, I really want that thing. I want to move across the country. I want a nicer vehicle. I want that better apartment. Oh, I want that velvet couch, whatever it is. And it may make you sick to even think about it because your mind is like, here are all the reasons why we can't have it. Here's all the reasons why that's a bad idea. Here's all the reasons why we're not willing to be the version of us that has those things. Now, I want to tell you this. Your mind has 1,000 reasons for everything. For and against everything. So there comes a point when you have to realize that being unreasonable with your desires is actually the truest way. Go online, search pro something, and then go anti something, and you will find all the peer-reviewed evidence in either argument. So you can't actually use that stuff. So it's better for you to actually sit with what is true for you and you alone. And so I sat with it and I was like, fuck, okay. Range Rover. I guess I'm a Range Rover broad now. Well, as I'm doing this walk, I've also felt the new desire of my next home. And it literally came to me as a 2-story brownstone. Fucking interesting. Because I'm nowhere near the financial capacity to receive that in my life. I'm not anywhere near the physical embodiment to receive that in my life. But now the desire has made itself known. And it makes me sick. Again, because my ego is like, we don't need that. That's ridiculous. The price of that is like astounding. All of very reasonable, logical things. But guess what? It doesn't matter what reasons I bring to it. The desire doesn't die. The desire stays and just gets louder and louder and louder. And the form of it getting louder is things like blowing up your vehicle, getting into an accident, getting injured. All of that is likely because you've ignored some sort of desire in your life, and your life is now saying you need to stop everything and reassess the path that you're on to come back into deeper alignment. This is why, like, a lot of energetic coaches really love the concept of neutrality, is that there's nothing good or bad. It's either allowing you to come closer into alignment or further away from it. Desire is a really great compass for that. What is the thing that I'm moving away from? What is the thing I'm moving towards? Now, it's not going to be something that your ego likes most of the time. Most of the time, it's going to be something along the lines of ego crashing. It's going to break your brain. There's really the concept of self is always created by the stories you interact with. So at one point, my concept of self was that I was in finance in the startup world. I was even sponsored by the Business Bank of Canada. That was my entire identity. But then as I evolve and as I grow in different ways, there's a way that it's not true. It's not definitively true. It was true at a point, but truth is also super dynamic. So we have to allow truth to migrate in our own life. So that my concept of self, of being in the startup world, in finance, in fintech, I had to let that go to be able to go into the next phase of my life, to be able to go into the next evolution of my life. Now, sadly, most people are very unwilling to allow themselves to go with the evolution of their own life because we are attached to previous versions of us. Now, a previous version of me really desired to renovate my childhood home and to make it into this beautiful little cottage. But let me tell you, I have never met so many hurdles and so many problems with doing something I desired, more so than when I got attached to fulfilling that desire rather than letting it all evolve. It was true to a point until it was untrue. Now, when I was in business school, I took an ethics class with Tom Cullen, I believe his name was, Professor Tom Cullen. And he was a little bit of an eccentric dude because his concept, and what he was using our class to prove, was that people are inherently ethical when they are self-aware. And so we literally did meditations every class. We did journaling. And one of the books that he had us read was called Defining Moments. And there's one particular section of this book where they talk about truth. And effectively what it teaches is that truth is a process. Is that everything is only true for as long as it remains true. Otherwise, it's just a hypothetical. So therefore, gravity is only true on Earth as long as the apple falls from the tree. The moment the apple stops falling from the tree, gravity is no longer true. And you have to be a little bit into philosophy and an expansive thinking to be able to get behind that, because if you get technical, you're going to lose the whole fucking point. But the idea here is that your desires are also going to evolve, but they're going to evolve to the version of you that you have to expand into. They're going to make the current version of you ill because you have to get rid of so much to be able to step into that new life. It takes less of who you think you are to have the life you actually want. Is essentially my lesson for you. So if you're listening, and if you have been listening, I would love to know in the comments what you're hearing, what you're getting for yourself. And, I'm always open to you guys commenting along, because I know I'm giving a transmission and that's great that you're listening. But do let yourself receive what I'm saying and hear the opportunity for your life, right? Because you might not need everything that I'm saying, but there might be just a piece of you, a piece of what I say that lands in your body. And if it shifts even something a little bit to bring you into more alignment with yourself, chef's kiss. Okay? I may do this daily. Who knows? I want to see how far I can get with TikTok lives before people or TikTok itself takes away the feature. Have you guys noticed that? They'll give you a feature and then they'll just take it away. So anyways, have a fabulous rest of your day. I was just at Water Market, bought myself flowers, as one does. And now I am walking towards the dollar store to get a vase because I do not have one yet. And then I'm going to massage, because one of the other ways that I keep myself in energetic alignment is to ensure that my body is taken care of as the vessel that holds all the energy that I run in a day. Most people also keep themselves out of energetic alignment by not taking care of the vessel that holds the energy. So you wonder why at 40 your body hurts, why at 25 you feel like a 50-year-old. Take into consideration how you're taking care of your body. So, little fun fact for you. But otherwise, I'm gonna figure out how to end this thing. Have a great day, guys.